You're not listening to you if you don't have ambition, if you don't have like tenacity. Like they have a lot of pieces in place, a lot. And I think the first one on the list is there for a reason. Let me go back to why soft skills are actually the hard skills. If you actually have gratitude, actually, everything else doesn't matter. Literally nothing else. I am so unbeatable in business because I'm so grateful to even be playing. I'm not counting every other part of it. Of course, I'm always good. I'm not worried about anything besides the ability to wake up and play. I believe this. This is not rah-rah. I believe this. I believe if you're grateful, you woke up, nobody died over the night. What a huge win. You woke up and you have people you love. Like if you have children, like you're winning. Like if you have like if your parents are still like if you have health and if you have health of the people you love about, back to why I didn't struggle with that stealing is because I don't give a about the $800,000 when it mattered a lot to me. I know it hurt our business. I was just going to work hard. Like it's the game. It's almost like throwing an interception. I didn't want to. I don't want to be down 21-0. I don't want to be knocked down twice in the first round of a boxing match. But if people have come back from 21-0 in a football game, if people have won a fight that have been knocked down twice in the first round later to only come back and win the fight, then why are we not capable of dealing with adversity in business when that's what we're doing here? If you signed up to be an entrepreneur, the do you think is going to happen? This goes back to my point. We make excuses to make ourselves feel better. This is a game. I wouldn't call it war because that's an extreme version of a game, but it's a game. It's a game. And what do you want from somebody I love this from the small guy, because I've been a small guy. I'm still the small guy. I don't have big corporations. I want to do business. I would like this customer's money. I'm saying that we need to rewrite this conversation because there's a lot going on. And I do think that gratitude, when I really think about it, when you actually mean it, I'm talking about, are you actually grateful? For example, there's 835 million people on earth, 1 billion people on earth that don't have access to clean water. There are people walking 18 miles in Africa for a bucket of clean water, and you're going to be upset that somebody canceled a meeting on you? If you're actually listening to this podcast, you have the time and luxury to listen to this great podcast. You are such a fortunate person. We are so spoiled as a modern era. I love everyone's like, oh, this is such a bad time. I'm like, I always talk about this is the best opportunity time. And everyone's like, Gary, it's horrible. I'm like, if you listen to social media and mainstream media, I understand why you think that. Let me just remind you, this nirvana you thought about in the last 100 years, you mean when there was no social media, when we had the highest level of dictatorship, fascism, the Holocaust, diseases were like everybody, like we demonize the current and we glorize the past. We lack accountability, we lack perspective, and it plays out in society. But I'm focused on the very narrow part of business for everybody who's listening, which is people's entitlement is laughable. Of course, other companies are going to try to get customers. You are too.
I know. All right. But the argument, you're right. I agree. But your argument is that if you do it as essentially a kind, responsible, accountable, optimistic, gracious human being, you'll get farther. You'll be happier.
100%, I 100% believe it. And I'll say it again in sports. If you are heavily focused on good things for your customer and more importantly, your employees, and you are indifferent to your competitors, that's the way I would say it. Indifferent. If you are completely focused on everything I talk about in this book for your customers, but even more importantly, your employees, and you are indifferent to your competition, you will go much, much, much further. I know it. And I think reputation is mattering more and more and more and more and more every day, as it always has, but it's more obvious. I'm really excited that we got listen, if one person listening today got it, well, this was the best use of my time.
What they need to do is go out and get this. Everyone go out and buy 12 and a half, leveraging the emotional ingredients necessary for business success. You changed my mind. I'm going to give you that. You know what a stubborn bitch I can be. And it's not the first time you've changed my mind.
It's made me think,
I just
right?
got the book yesterday, so now
It makes you think, right? It makes you think.
No, you know what? I think about how bitter I've been about not having all this VC money and
That's
how I
right.
get like outspent and
Yep.
people are always pulling